Hello friend, how are you? Welcome to Tripan Study Center. Today we are going to and highlighting each and every point of it. Let's see what is our topic today. In analysis, there are common problems of South Asian countries. You know that there's an important point here. Analyze the common problems of South Asian countries. You know that the South Asian country included here country like India, Pakistan, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Maldives and Sri Lanka. Those are there is a South Asian countries here. I repeat again, the South Asia country included here India, Pakistan, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Maldives and Sri Lanka. The various nature areas such as Himalayas, Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, Indian Ocean are part of this region. You know that there is an important here for the natural areas here. Himalayas, there is a highest peak point here. Arabian Seas also and Bay of Bengal and Indian Ocean. Let's see common problem for South Asian country for this. The first point arrive here and common problem for the South Asian country here. Poverty. All country of South Asia suffer from the large masses living in poverty. First of all here, poverty. In India, nearly 38% of people are living in a poverty. You know that there is important. There is the first point is the poverty is the most important problem facing in this country here. But India is a nearly 38% of people living in a poverty line. There is a poverty, not a poverty line here. There is a 38% of people living a poverty. This is the most important here. And second here, violation of human right. And there exists a great threat to human rights from an antisocial element. Antisocial element and communalist and from a people with a negative attitude, thinking and approach here. There is an antisocial element, communalist here, there is a negative attitude and thinking and approach here. And the next point, a problem faced by democracy. Several countries of South Asia aspire to be a democratic country but face a problem. The problem faced by the democracy. Several countries of South Asia aspire to be a democratic country but face a problem. And the next point, human employee. The human are generally seen at the lower position in most of South Asian nation. You know that there is a most important here problem here. There is a lower position in most of the South Asian nation. There is a human employees, and they are restricted and are not free as there are country parts. This is the most important here. The human activity is very low position for South Asian nation, but other country part there is a free for humans all activities here. But South Asian nation there are restricted for there is not a free for other here. This is the most important point. Next question is the most important here. Nepal and India enjoy a very special relationship that has a very few parallels in the world. Justifies. You know that is the most important question for the exam view. Examiner many times ask these questions here. The Nepal and India enjoy a very special relation that is a very few parallels in this world. You know that you are justifies here. The answer, Nepal and India share a very special relationship that can be illustrated with the three suitable examples of following. Three examples here clear in your mind. The first of all here, a threat is between two countries allows the citizen of the two countries to be travel and work in the each other country without visas and passport. This is the most important here. Two countries allow to citizens of two countries to travel and work in each other countries without visas and passport. This is the most important relationship here. And Nepal became a landlocked country, enjoy the easier access to the sea through the India territory for the purpose of trade and commerce with other nation. You know that there's a very special, there. The citizen of two countries is to enjoy the good relationship without any visa and passport. And secondly, there is trade and commerce with each other. Both countries share together trade, scientific cooperations, common natural resources, and electricity generations and interlocking water management grids. This is the most important here. You know that both countries share together trades, scientific cooperation, common natural resources, and electricities generation and interlocking water management grids. This is the most important relation India and Nepal here. Next question is the most important here. Explain the cases of the ethnic conflict in Sri Lanka. You know that there's the most important questions here. Explain the causes of ethnic conflict in Sri Lanka here. The cases of the ethnic conflict where is important. The first point here, the bone of contentions was the reasons of Ceylons, which was represented by their majority Sinhala group. The majority of Sinhala groups here, and they opposed their migration and settlement of Tamilians from India in their region. There is the most important majority of Sinhalas of group here Sri Lanka, and here settlement of Tamilians from India. There is a reasons. There is a migration persons here, and according to the group of Sri Lanka was only for Sinhal peoples and not for Tamil. That is more important. The Sri Lanka was only for Sinhal peoples, not a Tamil here. The attitude of Sinhal people led to the establishment of Liberation Tiger of Tamil Eliam, means LTTE, and military and organization which are desire for the separate country. Know that there is a most important here conflict next year. The next year, there was a pressure on government of India by the Tamili of Indian origin to the intervention in the matter. There was a pressure on the government of India by the Tamili of Indian organized to intervene in their matter. And the next year, hence the government of India tried to be negotiate with their government of Sri Lanka on Tamili question. But direct involvement was in the year 1987. It's important. India is considered to be sent troops to Sri Lanka for the preservation of the relation between Tamil and Sri Lanka government here. India consented to send troops to Sri Lanka for the preservation of the relation between Tamil and Sri Lanka government. And next point here, eventually their Indian troops got into a fight with the LTTE. These Indian troops got into a fight with the LTTE's party here. The presence of Indian troops was not liked by many Sri Lankans, and hence the 1989. The India is a peacekeeping force. Indian peacekeeping force means IPKF. There is an important Indian peacekeeping force IPKF pull out of Sri Lanka without attaining its objective. Our next question is most important here. How is the democratization going on in Nepal since 1990? It's the most important question here. How is the democratization going on in Nepal since 1990? Nepal used to be a Hindu kingdom. Nepal is a Hindu kingdom in the earlier period and followed by the constitutional monarchy in the modern period for any years. This is most important here. Nepal used to be a Hindu kingdom and followed there is a constitutional monarchy is the modern period of many years. The pro-democracy movement forced the king to be allowed new democratic constitution in the 1990. But it had a short and travel to the career. There is a most important point here. Pre-democracy movement forced the king to be allowed new democratic constitution in the 1990. There was a hug influence of monarchists to many parts of Nepal who believe our army insurrections against their monarch and their rulings elites. This is important here. The next here hence a triangular conflict among their monarchist forces. Their democrat and their monarchist took place for some time. The parliament was abolished and government was dismissed by the king in the 2002. This is important. The parliament was abolished and the government was dismissed by the king in 2002. Again in 2006, the king was forced to restore the House of Representatives after a massive country a wild pro-democracy protest here. This is 2006. This is the most important period time here. Restore the House of Representatives here. The Constituent Assembly was forced to rewrite the constitution for the Nepal. The Constituent Assembly was forced their right to constitution for Nepal. The constitution has come into effect with some amendment process going on. Our next question is most important here for the exam view. Question here. Democracy is become the first choice of the people of South Asia. Justify the statement. You know that there is a most important question here. Democracy is become the first choice of the people of South Asia. South Asia is a maximum country there is the democracy, but time to time there is suspended for democracy. But India has continually follow a democracy rule. This is the proof there is South Asia. There is a first choice is a democracy. Let's see answer. Democracy has become the first choice of the people of South Asia. This is now that important. Democracy has become a first choice of people of South Asia. According to the several is conducted, their results show that all the 5 countries in South Asia result support of democracy. There is a 5 countries of South Asia result support to the democracy, and people belonging to different region, ordinary citizen, and rich as well as poor. All view there is an idea of democracy positive and support the institution of their representative of democracy. This is important. People belong to a different religion, ordinary citizen, rich as well as poor. And all will there is an idea of democracy positively and support the institutional representative of democracy. For instance, let's see what is here a rule and why there is a first choice of here democracy for the South Asia country. The first point arrive here. The Nepal has a transfer into the democracy for a monarchy. This is important. There is Nepal has a transfer into the democracy for a monarchy. I remember you 1990 there is the Nepal is a support to the democracy, but 2002 the democracy is suspended and monarchy has started. But again 2006 the democracy will begin on Nepal. There is the most important transfer into the democracy for the monarchies. And the next year Sri Lanka and India have successfully operated a democratic system since they are independent from the British. You know that there is a most important. Sri Lanka and India have a successful operated a democratic system since they are independent from the British. Bhutan transferred from monarchy to the democracy. You know that Bhutan they are transferred to the monarchy to democracy. And Maldives from a sultan to republic with a presidential from along with the multi-party system. Maldives from a sultan to be a republic with a presidential form along with the multi-party system. That's important. And thus, this can be concluded that there is a mixed record of democratic experience. The people, all the countries of South Asia share the aspirations of democracy. Our next question is most important here. South Asia Association of Regional Corporations here means SAARC. What do you mean here SAARC? The South Asian Association for the Regional Corporations is a SAARC here. The South Asian Association for the Regional Cooperation (SAARC) is on the economical and political organization of the 8 countries in South Asia. It was established in 1985 when the head of the state of Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka formally is adopted. There is a charters of Afghanistan joined as the 8th member of SAARC in 2007. To date of 18th summit has been to held in Nepal as a former foreign secretary in a current secretary general of SAARC. The 9th summit will be hosted by the Pakistan in 2016. The next point is most important here, objectives. There is objectives most important for your SAARC. The SAARC aims to be promote economic growth. SAARC aims to be promote here economic growth, social progress and cultural development within the South Asia region. The objectives of SAARC as are defined in the Charter of Flowings here. The most important charters provides here. First of all, here promote the welfare of the peoples of South Asia and improve their quality of life. Important here, promote the welfare of peoples of South Asia and improve their quality of life. And accelerate economic growth, social progress and cultural development in the region by providing all individuals their opportunities to live in a dignity and release their full potential. This is important. The next point here, promote and strengthen collective self-reliance among the countries of South Asia. There is a promote and strengthen collective self-reliance among the countries of South Asia and contribute their mutual trust, understanding and appreciation of one another's problems here and promote active collaboration and mutual assistance in economic, social, cultural, technical and scientific field here. You know that this is important. Promote active collaborations and mutual assistance in their economical, social, culture and technical and scientific fields here. And the next year, strength and cooperation with other development country. It's important. The strength and cooperation with other development countries. And the next, strengthen cooperation among themselves in an international forum on the matters of common interest. And cooperate with the international and regional organization with a similar aims and purpose. You know that is important. Cooperate with the international and regional organization with the similar aim and purpose. The next point is most important here. Structure and process. Structures and process. Cooperation in a SARC is based on respect for the 5 principles of. You know that this is important. 5 principle is most important for the SARC here. First here, sovereign equality. Second here, territorial integrity. And third here, political independence. And fourth here, non-interference in the internal affair of the member states. And mutual benefit also is included here. The regional cooperation is seen as a complement to be a bilateral and multilateral relation of SARC, the member of state. You know that is the relations of the SARC member states. SARC summit are held annual and country hosting their summit held to the chair of the association. And decisions are made on their anonymity based while the bilateral and contentious issues are executed for their deliberations of SARC. In addition to be 8 member states, 9 observed states joined to the SARC summit here. The first China, the USA, Myanmar, Iran, Japan, South Korea, Australia, Mauritius, and European Union. This is the most important here. The 8 members and 9 observed state joined of SARC summit here. This is important. The next point is also important. Area of cooperation the SARC here. The area of cooperation of SARC. The member state agree in the following area of cooperation. First of all here, agriculture and rural development. Secondly here, education and culture. Third, biotechnology, economic, trade and finance, and energy, environment problem, tourism, science and technology, information, communication and media, poverty, elevations and security, accepts, people to people, contacts, and the next here, founding mechanisms here and social development also. This is the most important area here. And the latest development also is the most important point here. Then 18th SARC summit held to the Kathmandu in 2014 and concluded with there is adoption of the SARC declaration. The declaration of recognize a labor migration as an issue in the need of collective action. Article 24 states that the SARC countries agree to collaborate to be ensured that the protection of migrant workers for South Asia. And during the summit, SARC leaders also called for the authority to tackle and prevent their trafficking in their women and children. In the regard to the post-2015 development agenda, and participating countries aim to be initial and the intergovernmental process to be appreciably or controlled and the sustainable development goal at the regional level here. This topic was till this. We will be do their next topic in the next part. If you like it, then please like, share, subscribe and share the video as much as possible. Do not think, subscribe and save in your mobile.